Now, is this something that is from 1 to 10, or they all sort of win horizontally?
Manolo, I don't have those details. I'm sorry.
But these are the winners, and so
Yes.
these are the ones who have been honored this year.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's
and the
correct.
next one would be the Community Enterprise Development in El Salvador, Misamis Oriental. Now, if people want to know, for example, what the Community Enterprise Development Program is there a website or something that they can visit?
Actually, they can go through Galing Pook, and Galing Pook will provide the information
Background there.
how they could coordinate directly with these people.
Okay, but you know what's interesting about these winners that we're looking at is that these are people who are in places, communities that normally do not get attention in the national media, and people don't even know what's going on in their area. So the third one, for example, is what's called Bulawan, the vermiculture
Vermiculture
program of Barobo in Valencia City. What is vermiculture?
Silk.
Ah, silk.
Silk
Okay.
production.
So the production of silk. And then the next we would have is therapeutic massage training program and health spa in Los Baños.
This is taking advantage of the natural resources of Los Baños. Na? So they have this advantage of natural resource. So it's just a matter of training the community how they can convert it into a spa.
Of course, in Ormoc City, the rice production enhancement program. And after that comes the Tabo marketing of farm produce in Negros Oriental. And again, so each of these projects would have begun as an initiative either on the private sector or the government, but in the end involved some sort of delivery of public services to fill a need.
I think it started by the local government, and then it got the community support, either as active participants or support coming in different forms.
Okay, and every time there's a project like this, someone who nominates it for recognition, then you have to send people basically to the site to find out if it's really working,
Yes,
what
that's
people
correct.
have to say based on your criteria. Okay, and next we would have the organic biodynamic farming in Trento, in Agusan del Sur. And the Placer Port and Ice Plant, service-oriented income generating facilities, also in Surigao del Norte. So again, this covers practically every aspect of human activity, bringing the senior citizens back into the production mainstream of society in Quezon City, here in Metro Manila. Okay, and the next one, finally, would be what we're going to be guesting in the next portion, which is Governor Panlilla. So we're going to come back with one of the winners of the Galing Pook Award and talk to this year's Galing Pook awardees.
Kami insultuan mo kami king sasakyan mong yan.
That was a news clip of a protest rally in Pampanga demanding the recall of Governor Ed Panlilio. Now, the irony, of course, is that what the people giveth, the people can taketh away. And in a country that immortalizes people power, who is to say that those trying to use people power really have the people's interest in mind? Now, Governor Panlilio, of course, became famous by leading a kind of people's rebellion in his province and was elected by the skin of his teeth as governor. As a result of his governance, he has earned recognition, including the award for which we're interviewing him tonight. But also, he has earned opposition. So tonight, we're going to begin by asking him about what earned him this award. And then in the final portion of our show, we're going to ask him about some of the lessons that he may have learned in terms of generating the people empowerment and support that is required to truly serve the public. So, Governor, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's start by informing our viewers, what were you recognized for by Gawad Pook?
Well, in the first place, we didn't ask for this. No? All this time, we've been working wholeheartedly, keeping the best interests of the province in mind. So I believe when we were approached, by the way, I did not volunteer.
But you were nominated in recognition for what? I mean, this is
I was nominated, no, and I didn't volunteer to be nominated. So I believe it is the dramatic increase in quarry collections, no?
Okay.
Wherein my predecessors during their time, the annual collection for the revenues on quarry was something like 5 million pesos, and the highest was 29 million pesos. And after a year's time, we were able to collect something like 234 million pesos. And that's a big dramatic surge.
And this is, of course, talking about how Pampanga turned tragedy into opportunity in terms of all of the lahar, the sand, and the gravel that was produced from the eruption of Mount Pinatubo. And since the volcano erupted, that has been a giant quarry site in your province, basically, where the selling of sand and gravel is regulated by the province.
That's right.
Is that correct?
Yung dating disgrasya ay naging grasya. So when Pinatubo erupted, what was deposited on the mountain slopes of Pinatubo was something like 300 million dump trucks, if you put that into that equivalent. So, and we will have this phenomenon of quarrying and selling these properties for more than 100 years, even from now.
Now, so what Gawad Pook looked at was how you basically maximized the income that your province could make from these things. And so this is actually one of the things that gained you nationwide recognition, but it's also become very controversial. So perhaps you can walk us through what you identified to be the problem and how you went about solving that problem.
Well, there were various problems before we came, you know? And one of these was payments were being made at the provincial office, but a single person was buying the official receipts or paying the official receipts, then reselling would be done on the quarry sites themselves. So a lot of the payment was being done on ground. You know? So whereas the system of collection should have been all the quarry operators, they pay their dues at the provincial treasurer's office. So that's one innovation that I mean, we just implemented the ordinance. Then another thing, we called to a meeting and really made use of the resources and the talents of our provincial mining and regulatory board. And these are professionals, and they do their job. Like, for example, before the quarry operators, the ones who were extracting the quarry materials, could operate, they would need to pass through a process of accreditation, and they would need a permit before they would quarry. So the board that would regulate this would be the PMRB. And at the same time, what we did was to put good people, ethical leaders, to man the quarry sites, and increase their numbers. And then we also put in a lot of resources, especially during our first 6 months of operation, in order to for these people to move and to monitor the quarry sites.
Okay, so basically you started off with the problem that there is a tremendous amount of activity going on, which should lead to a certain amount of income for the province, but that income wasn't there. And so you were identifying the sort of where the leakages
the income was there, but it wasn't
going to the
to the province.
Where was it going?
Well, it's anybody's guess.
Okay.
Especially during the time before I came into office, the NLEX was being